It's January 24th, 2015, and this is your Fortean Slip news.
Big news this week, Chris, from the Wall Street Journal. Bigfoot isn't just a mythic figure, he's an investment opportunity. Startups are famous for setting big, hairy goals. Carmine, or Tom, Biscardi wants to catch Sasquatch and is planning an initial public offering to fund that hunt. Mr. Biscardi and his partners hope to raise as much as $3 million by selling stocks in Bigfoot Project Investments. They plan to spend the money making movies and selling DVDs.
And buying Snapple.
Yeah, buying Joan. But they're also budgeting $113,805 a year for expeditions to find the beast. Among the company's goals, according to its filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, is capture the creature known as Bigfoot. Investment advisors caution that this
or
IP...
pad Tommy Boy's fucking wallet.
Oh, yeah. Investment advisors caution that this IPO may not be for everyone. I'd argue that it may not be for anyone.
It may not be for anyone.
For starters, it involves DVDs, which is a dying technology, said Kathy Boyle, president at Chapin Hill Advisors. Then there is the Sasquatch issue. She reckons only true believers would be interested in such a speculative adventure. Not adventure, venture. This would be the kind of thing where if you believed in Bigfoot or you thought there was really a Bigfoot and you actually had some money to burn and wanted to play with it.
And you want to burn some money, just fucking throw it into a goddamn fire because you'd be doing just about the same goddamn thing.
Pretty much. It turns out the IPO doesn't have many fans in the Bigfoot community either. Purists are chafing at what they see as the crass commercialization of a serious pursuit. Mr. Biscardi, who has trumpeted a number of Bigfoot sightings and captures that didn't pan out, is a controversial figure among Bigfoot enthusiasts. And you'll all remember in 2008 he held a news conference in Palo Alto, California to detail his examination of what he said was the carcass of a male Bigfoot that checked in at 7 feet 7 inches tall and weighed more than 500 pounds. The Bigfoot found by two men in Georgia. They don't name the men. I wonder who those two men were, Chris. Turned out to be a rubber gorilla costume stuffed with animal parts and outfitted with a set of teeth that may have been bovine in origin. Right there. Asked about the incident, Mr. Biscardi said he had been deceived, but that hasn't quieted skeptics in the community like Kathy Strain, a friend of mine, who said she is astonished at the Georgia debacle. It didn't put an end to Mr. Biscardi's pursuit of Bigfoot.
I was deceived.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was a Bigfoot in a box. It was a freezer. There were guts. I was scared.
It just makes it a big joke, Kathy said. Miss Strain has been fascinated with Bigfoot since she was a girl in California and mistook the 1972 documentary-style film called The Legend of Bobby Creek.
Yes, she was fascinated ever since she saw a hairy man when she was young.
Now she's a 46-year-old Forest Service worker, and she wants to bring the rigors of science to Bigfooting. Mr. Biscardi is well aware of his many detractors, really, as it comes with the territory of being such a high-profile member of the Bigfoot community. When you're the king of the mountain, everybody is trying to knock you down, he said.
Steve, he's famous. He's Tom. Get the man a Snapple.
Gotta love Tom Biscardi. And our second story from abc.net.au. So that's the Australian version, I guess. Rare and terrifying frilled shark was caught in Victorian waters, the first for fishermen and local living memory. The species, whose ancestry dates back 80 million years, is known as the living fossil. It was caught on a fishing trawler in waters near
I know a few
Lake
living
Centred.
fossils, Steve.
In the Victoria's Gippsland region. Simon Bogue from the Southeast Trawl Fishing Association. There's a trawl fishing association? Pretty cool. Said it was the first time in living memory that a frilled shark has been sighted. We couldn't find a fisherman who had ever seen one before, he said. It looks...
He said next week we're going to find a lacy shark.
What shark?
A lacy one. This one's frilled.
Oh, I see. That went right over my head, like most other things do. It does look 80 million years old. It looks prehistoric. It looks like it's from
what
another
looks
time.
80 million years fucking old? It looks 80 million years old, but it's right in front of me.
He said local fishermen were left scratching their heads at the sight of a 2-meter-long creature whose head and body resemble an eel, but whose tail is more reminiscent of a shark. The Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, jeez almighty, that's a long title, confirmed it to be a frilled shark. And while the species is known to the scientific community, it was nonetheless rare and bizarre find for local fishermen. It has 300 teeth, over 25 rows, so once you're in that mouth, you're not coming out, Mr. Bogue said. Why does that make me laugh?
Fucking Jeremy Wade like jumped on a plane and wants to go catch it. He's like, put it back in the water so I can fucking go catch it.
This species has been found as deep as 1,500 meters, but it generally lives in shallow waters, shallower than maybe 1,200 meters. Mr. Bogue said the frilled shark was caught at 700 meters, but there should not be any concern about repeat catches. Almost all the grounds deeper than 700 meters are closed to trawling, so there wouldn't be any pressure on them, and there'd be very few caught, he said. This guy was just unlucky. After being declined by the CSIRO, the frilled shark has now been bought by Griffith Sea Shell Museum in Lakes Entrance. It's in our freezer at the moment, said the museum owner, Corral.
Along with Rick Dyer's Bigfoot.
It'll be 2 or 3 weeks before it's on display. I think I might just make a trip over there to look at this damn thing. It's ugly looking, I can tell you that. And in our final story from CNN.com, another huge story in the Fortean world this week, Chris. Air Force UFO, I can't even speak now because it's so big. Air Force UFO files land on the internet. It's enough to make Mulder and Scully seethe with envy. I don't know why they put stupid titles like that in there. Nearly 130,000
It's a fucking X-Files reference.
I know it's an X-Files reference, but it's cheesy.
What else are they going to say?
Nearly 100.
It's enough to make guys in their basement that think that UFOs and conspiracy theories are real come in their pants.
UFO and conspiracy theories are real.
Oh.
Nearly 130,000 pages of declassified Air Force files on UFO investigations and sightings are now available in one place online. Declassified government records about UFOs have long existed on microfilm in the National Archives in Washington, D.C. Many of them also live on websites devoted to the topic, sometimes free, sometimes not. But UFO enthusiast John Greenwald says his database, Project Blue Book Collection, is the first to compile every single declassified document from the Blue Book Project headquarters at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio from 1947 to 1969, in one place for anyone to search or download for free. The collection consists of files from Project Blue Book, Project Sign, and Project Grudge, the names given to the official investigations into unidentified flying objects by the United States military. Greenwald's efforts are not motivated by a close encounter or personal experience with the unidentified flying objects. He says he's just driven by curiosity. It's a long story. I'm a history buff. I think this stuff should be accessible, he said. Secrets are not bad things. I think we should know about this, and it should be in the history books.
Secrets are not bad things, people. Yeah. Hey, hey, little kid, can you keep a secret?
No. Greenwald started requesting information related to Project Blue Book through the Freedom of Information Act 15 years ago. His interest was piqued by the first case he received information on about a 1970 UFO incident in Iran after Project Blue Book ended. It defied explanation, he said, and 5,000 Freedom of Information Act requests later, my curiosity hasn't gone away. The collection contains 10,000 PDFs, each representing a different case. The files include the details of some of the most famous UFO cases, including the incident at Exeter, that's in New Hampshire, Chris, the Kenneth Arnold sightings, and the Mantell crash. Still, Greenwald believes that the contents are just the tip of the iceberg. It's all a puzzle, he said. Just when you think you've got all the pieces to make a picture, you realize it's only a piece of the bigger puzzle.
Realize you don't give a shit.
No, I give a shit. And Mr. Greenwald's site is theblackvault.com. In fact, when I first started researching UFO stuff, that was the very first website I started looking into, because he's got all that Freedom of Information Act request stuff. Longtime member of the forum, although I went under an assumed name, Chris.
Not you.
No way.
You under an assumed name. Speaking of which, I saw your old internet handle bouncing about on the internet.
You saw my old internet handle.
I saw your old fucking Cloak and Dagger name.
I have a Cloak and Dagger name? Well, you can explain that to me after the show, because I wouldn't want to give that information away.